My talk will be about novel applications in abdominal MR imaging, and so the contents of my presentation will be, I will talk about technical innovations, and will illustrate this by clinical applications in abdominal, prostate, and retroperitoneal disease. I will talk about future applications, and I will give a quick summary at the end. So, from an engineering standpoint, recent innovations have been made in MR with respect to newly developed multi-channel systems, which employ total digital imaging and increasing the capabilities for parallel imaging, achieving very high signal-to-noise ratios. Newly developed gradient systems allow very, very high efficient operation of the gradients, which give room for energy savings while maintaining very high effective imaging parameters. Newly developed digital imaging electronics have opened the door for completely new applications like zero-TE imaging, very much increased computational performance, allows new reconstruction technologies, and there are new software applications. So, first let's talk about some clinical images in abdominal. What is new in abdominal imaging? First of all, I'd like to show you some examples over contrast-enhanced imaging. We're going to talk about complete free breathing exams and advanced diffusion techniques. So this slide shows you in the first row an example of what we did over years in contrast-enhanced MR imaging. That's a sequence called LavaFlex. It's a 3D gradient echo sequence acquired within a single breath hold, delivering one contrast phase. And at the bottom row, you see what's recently possible. That's called DISCO. It's a new sequence that delivers multi-phase arterial imaging and greatly enhances the temporal resolution of the acquisition. This is also one breath hold acquisition, so multi-contrast phases within a single breath hold. I'd like to show you how this works. It is 3D sploid gradient echo sequence with 2-point Dixon fat saturation. It uses self-calibrated arc parallel imaging, and it has a specific fashion of case-based segmentation. So if you look at that elliptic case-based segment over here, it has a red center and some colored dots at the periphery. And the first image in this acquisition is the non-contrast mask image. For that, all of the dots are being sampled. And after contrast injection, the case-based center is being sampled more frequently. And with every sample of the case-based center, the dots of one color are being sampled. And then for the following contrast phases, the views for the colored dots are shared across the phases. So that's allowing a very, very high temporal resolution parallel to a high spatial resolution. So I'd like to show you this publication. It was done on 26 patients with known or suspected HCC, and they also used the DISCO sequence with a very, very high temporal resolution of 8 contrast phases within a single breath hold. And if you look at that chart, you can depict that roughly around 26 seconds post-contrast injection, the highest number of lesions was visible. And if you go 8 seconds earlier or 8 seconds later, you can see that there is only a fraction of lesions that is visible. So in proper diagnosing hypervascular lesions, it's crucial to depict this late arterial phase where the lesions show up most brightly. And if you look at the next slide, this is an example. It's pre-contrast and 8 post-contrast phases. And this tiny little lesion over here completely enhances and washes out within that single breath hold period. So it's crucial to have that high temporal resolution in order to depict these hypervascular lesions. Let's talk about free breathing imaging. You can perform a complete abdominal exam without a single breath hold command using navigator techniques. You can do this in combination with contrast agent dynamically. You can use it for MRCP or for focused diffusion weighted imaging. This slide shows a set of sequences that can be acquired using the navigator technique. You can do single shot T2, you can do coronary plane, single shot, even diffusion weighted imaging can be done with navigator. And this is actually dynamic contrast enhanced imaging in free breathing. This also makes use of the disco technique. Because it is so fast to acquire, you can actually combine it with respiratory gating and discard most of the data in order to reconstruct multi-contrast phases in free breathing. Maybe not the 8 phases I showed you before, but as you are clinically used to 2 or 3 phases, you can acquire in free breathing. You can also combine it with MR urography or MRCP. So next, I'd like to show you an example for diffusion-weighted imaging. The conventional technique employs single-shot epi echoplanar imaging for diffusion-weighted imaging of the upper abdomen. And as you can see here, for example, you can see spatial distortions in regions where are B1 or B0 inhomogeneities. And a novel technique in order to avoid this is focused diffusion. This is a technique that uses two-dimensionally spatially selective excitation. That's why you have this rectangular field of view. And besides, you can achieve a much higher spatial resolution and higher signal-to-noise. This was analyzed scientifically, and in this publication, the technique was compared against the standard single-shot epi in patients with pancreatic pathology. And the authors found that there is a twice better spatial resolution and subjective improved image quality for the reduced field of view approach over the standard single-shot epi sequence. Next, I'd like to show you a clinical case. This was a 46-year-old man with acute onset of diffuse abdominal pain, no history of alcohol abuse or stones, and you can easily depict the fluid peripancreatically. The edematous changed parenchyma, so that's a pancreatitis. And the clinical condition of that patient significantly worsened, which needed him to be admitted to ICU. And a few days after discharge from ICU, we've done that MR exam, and you need to have free breathing capabilities in these sick patients that can often not hold their breath in order to exclude underlying pathology. This is an example for a T2 weighted fat saturated fiesta image. You can depict some peripancreatic fluid still. This is T2 single shot, and The next slide shows respiratory triggered diffusion weighted imaging with navigator technique, focus B800, ADC, and contrast enhanced images. And so we added on the MRCP with navigator technique in order to exclude any stone or stenosis of the pancreatic duct. So quite good image quality in this patient with free breathing. Next, let's talk about prostate imaging. I'd like to show you a case from a patient with PSA of 3.5, histologically proven focal Gleason 6 cancer to be on the right side. We did T2 imaging and we didn't find a lesion actually on the right hand side, but we did find a lesion on the left base of the prostate. And this is B1500 single shot epi. This is in comparison B800 focus diffusion, and you can depict the higher spatial resolution. This lesion shows up less bright than here because the B value is lower. We do this in order to achieve a very good ADC calculation, to have a high SNR, and you can depict this very low ADC lesion in the left base of the prostate. So what happened here? The Gleason 6 cancer, which the patient probably not gonna die from, was sampled by biopsy, but the high-grade lesion at the base that was missed, that's due to the inherent problem with prostate biopsy, that you have a possible sampling error. So this quite acceptable image quality in this patient was achieved, even he had bilateral head prosthesis. I'd like to show you a publication which was done on 28 patients, where there have been found 33 cancers. Patients underwent single shot epi and focus diffusion, and again here you can compare the image quality. This is standard single shot epi, that is focus diffusion, and the susceptibility artifacts you have in the single shot technique, you do not see them in focus diffusion. This is taken from another publication. It again compares the extent of spatial distortion in single shot epi compared to focus diffusion, and you can see there's more distortion in the single shot epi approach than in focus. So why is that important? Our MR scans are frequently being used for ultrasound MR fusion, which are then used for guided biopsy. And if you have spatial distortions that are like this or more severe, you do not achieve proper anatomic co-registration. So it is quite important to have distortion-free DVI images, because some lesions only clearly delineate in diffusion-weighted images. So let's look at another case. That's a T2 weighted image of this lesion in the right periphery. This is single shot epi, and if you look at this, it's the same image, and if you put on your glasses now, you will see that this changes and it becomes clearer. And that's because this is a different technique. This is focus diffusion, and again you can compare side by side. Single shot epi over focus, much higher spatial resolution, better delineation of that lesion, even though it has less signal. It's again only B800 B value and a very good ADC calculation. So up to now we separately acquired the B1500 with a single shot epi, but since recently on our system we can also calculate higher B values from the focused diffusion sequence. So in this case, we are able to combine the high signal and the high spatial resolution in the same sequence, and even saving time, since we do not have to do this anymore. So I'd like to show you this image. Can you see any difference? The difference in these images is actually image compression. This is an uncompressed NEF image, and this is a compressed JPEG image. Compression was done in this case after the image has been acquired. But you can also do compression at time of, sorry, there's an image missing. Yeah, let's take this one. You probably know this building, and if you have prior knowledge about what is inside the image, then you can even reduce the information by half, and you can still depict the relevant information from that image. So what your brain does in this situation is it actually reveals the missing information in order to achieve a complete image in your mind. And your MR scanner can possibly also do that, and that's called compressed sensing. If you have a look at these images feature a new acceleration method called compressed sensing, and I've put in for you 3 images. This one is an MRCP source image just using parallel imaging. It takes roughly 3 minutes to acquire. This image employs HyperSense, which is a new compressed sensing technique, which can lower the scan time to 2 minutes and 6. You can even turn this up a little more and acquire virtually the same image quality in significantly less time. This is the same patient, just now I've put in the MIP reconstruction. Again, same acceleration level. I've put in another case. That's again a prostate, and what we normally did up to now was we acquired every plane and T2 weighted with a separate FSE sequence, and this sums up to a total scan time of 12 minutes, and with the new capabilities of using compressed sensing and combining it with 2D spatially selective excited 3D FSE sequence. It's called HyperCube. Combined with HyperSense, we can dramatically turn down the scan time. I must admit we might need to tweak this protocol a little bit to match for the same image quality, but this scan actually was done yesterday. We are using this technique as a pre-market beta software at the moment, and this was one of our first patients, but I wanted to show this impressive drop in scan time. So I'd like to conclude that recent technological advancements deliver expanded clinical capabilities in abdominal imaging, and with the possibilities we have, I think there's much more fascinating options to come. Thank you very much.